Now, when you think of Sherlock Holmes, you probably picture foggy London streets, gas lamps, Victorian coats, and horse-drawn carriages. Or Benedict Cumberbatch, Robert Downey Jr., or all the others who have played this magnificent character. But in the late 1990s, there's an animated series that asked a bold question. What if Sherlock Holmes woke up in the year 2103 with flying cars, mega cities, artificial intelligence, and crimes more complex than ever? Yes, that is right, we are talking about Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century cartoon. A show that combined classic literature with cyberpunk sci-fi and somehow made it work. Yet, despite its ambition, intelligence, and respect for the source material, the series largely faded into obscurity. So today, we're taking a full deep dive into what made Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century a cult classic. Its story, its characters, production, themes, legacy, and why it deserves more recognition than ever. So remember, hit that like button down below, subscribe if you have not, and check out all my other blasts from past episodes in the description down below. And join the Discord to stay in touch with everything on my channels. With that all being said, guys, let's get on into it.
Back to life. Back to life.
It's elementary, my dear Watson.
Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century. Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century.
Now, the series opens with a dramatic concept. In the 19th century, Sherlock Holmes and Professor Moriarty fall into their apparent deaths during their confrontation. But fast forward over 200 years, in the 22nd century, Earth is now a futuristic megaworld filled with towering cities, advanced technology, and interplanetary travel. Holmes's body has been preserved in suspended animation, and modern scientists decide to revive him, believing that even future crimes need the greatest detective that ever lived. Holmes awakens into a new world, completely new to him. Yet, one thing remains unchanged: crime and Professor Moriarty. Now, one of the show's strongest elements is how it treats Sherlock Holmes' intelligence. Holmes is not dumbed down. He is not overwhelmed by technology. Instead, the show makes a powerful statement: true intelligence transcends time. Now, while Holmes struggles with futuristic slang, machines, and social norms, his deductive reasoning remains unmatched. He studies the future world the same way he studies a crime scene: carefully, analytically, and skeptical. Now, rather than rejecting technology, Holmes adapts, often faster than those who grew up with it. Now, this new version of Holmes is partnered with a fascinating twist on Dr. Watson. Now, in the 22nd century, Holmes is paired with a clone of his original companion, created from Watson's preserved DNA. Now, Inspector Lestrade returns as well, this time as a descendant rather than a clone. And this time around, instead of a he, it's a she. And she's a descendant of the original Inspector, and much like him, serves as Holmes' main ally and point of contact in Scotland Yard of the New London. And she was also the one that spearheaded the project to bring Holmes back to life in the future. Now, Holmes and her are complete opposites. Holmes is calm and collected, and she is impulsive, hot-blooded, and usually shoot first and ask questions later. And this usually causes some tension or some drama throughout the show. Now, no Sherlock Holmes story is without Professor James Moriarty. Now, in this series, Moriarty survives in the form of a sentient AI. His consciousness is preserved and reborn through advanced technology. Now, this is one of the show's smartest ideas. Moriarty becomes more dangerous, more abstract, and harder to destroy. He is no longer just a man. He is an idea, a system, a digital criminal mastermind operating within the infrastructure of the future itself. This makes the rivalry even more internal. Holmes and Moriarty are no longer just enemies across cities, but across centuries. And like I said before, Moriarty is one of the main reasons why Holmes was brought back after all these centuries. Now, many episodes are reimaginings of classic Sherlock Holmes stories, adapted into futuristic settings. There are cyber theft, corporate espionage, AI sabotage, advanced weapon trafficking, but the heart of each mystery remains faithful to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's work. Clues matter, observation matters, and logic matters. The show never talks down to its audience. Now, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century was produced by DIC Entertainment and Scottish Television Enterprise. The concept was created by Scottish television executive Sandy Ross in 1996, with production involving teams in the UK, US, and France. The show was originally supposed to be called Sherlock Holmes in the 21st century, but as plans, the air date of September 1998 was never the new century. Now, the show ran for 2 seasons with 26 episodes in total, and each episode being around 30 minutes. And the show was innovative and a lot different from what kids were used to. It was more futuristic, and it wasn't too flashy. It served the story well. The character designs retained classic Holmes imagery, his coat, his posture, his expressions, while blending seamlessly into a new sci-fi world. This balance helped the show feel respectful rather than too gimmicky. Now, the voice acting also did a great job with this series. It was grounded and serious and avoiding exaggerated cartoon tropes. Holmes speaks with authority, restraint, and intellect, and never is a parody. It does a great job to bring out the best in this new version of Sherlock Holmes. This helped the show stand apart from any other animated series of its time, because most comedies around this period really leaned towards humor, while this had a more relaxed tone and helped shape a brand new version of Holmes. Now, this wasn't just a detective cartoon. The show explored the ethics of cloning, artificial intelligence way before its time, identity and memory, and the role of humanity in a technological future, whether progress replaces wisdom or if it needs it. Sherlock Holmes represented human reasoning in a world obsessed with machines. And now the world we live in is all about AI, artificial intelligence, and how much we rely on technology. And I can only imagine what the future will look like. Now, the series aired on Fox Kids, Jetix, and various international networks. Unfortunately, it often aired inconsistently and without heavy promotion. Its mature tone and serialized elements made it harder to market to younger audiences, while older viewers often didn't realize it existed at all. Now, several factors also contributed to this, on why it faded to such obscurity. There was poor scheduling, competition with flashier action cartoons, and lack of merchandise. With kids, that's always going to be your main target. And there are no long-term reruns. Yet those who watched it remember it fondly as something different. And it's sad it went into obscurity because it was such a great show. Now, was it ahead of its time? Today, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century is often rediscovered online and praised for its respecting classic literature, trusting its audience's intelligence, and blending sci-fi with a detective storytelling. Now, in an era now dominated by reboots and futuristic reimaginings, this show quietly did it first, and did it very well. This was a new take on Sherlock Holmes that no one ever did before, and in my opinion did very well for its time. And I think it's very underrated and deserves another chance. I remember kind of catching this show on PBS and Jetix, and I absolutely loved it. My brother recently rewatched the whole series and he said it was actually really good. Now, Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century proved that classics can evolve. Animation can be intelligent, and good storytelling is timeless. It didn't need explosives every 5 seconds. It relied on something far more powerful. A great mind solving great mysteries no matter the century. Now, let me know in the comments down below, do you remember Sherlock Holmes in the 22nd century? And if you enjoy these deep dives into forgotten cartoons, classic reimaginings, and underrated animated series, subscribe guys and don't miss anything on this channel, and make sure to head over to my Discord to stay in touch with everything going on, because maybe there are a lot of shows that you forgot about, and I'm the one to bring them back into the limelight. So thank you guys so much for watching this, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.